Hey, what's going on, everyone? Choco here, and welcome to another episode of Sky Factory 4. Real quick, let me know how you feel about the new face cam look and stuff like that. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we have a very interesting episode for you today. I'd actually pre-recorded one of these because I was a little bit concerned that these three guys would try to run away from the whole thing, but thankfully they didn't. Two of them kind of did. Artie, of course, stuck with it, so good luck, Artie. But today is going to be Applied Energistics 2, AE2, as presented by... We lost Earth. Well, okay, besides the one runner, don't worry, we're going to send our fighter pigeons back. There he goes. When it comes to AE2, we already have some basic systems in place. What these three guys are going to do are going to be to accomplish automation within AE2, which isn't necessarily the most straightforward thing. I know, at least from my experience, a lot of people do struggle with AE2, especially whenever they get into the automation step. It's simple enough to be like, okay, we have a storage drive. We have drives in the storage drive. But this time we're going to take it a step further and we're going to say, okay, how do you automate? How are you going to go ahead and make this do things for us so we can go ahead and build other things from it? To that end, we're going to go ahead and be spectating with anticipation to see how these guys do. And they have three major objectives. And I'm actually going to restructure it from how I originally presented it because I think it's a lot more interesting and it's going to be a little bit more fruitful and helpful for them if they approach it in this way. So number one, they're going to need to go ahead and make themselves a CPU. What the CPU is basically is that's going to be what dictates the ability for automatic crafting. So that's number one. Number two, they're going to go ahead and have to also make a pattern version of things. So whenever you look at AE2, you're going to have yourselves a regular old ability to craft things. And the second one is going to be freehand, freeform. But the freeform is going to have an additional task of it has to be a freeform crafting thing that doesn't require a machine, but it's going to have to be able to maintain a certain level of something. It can be anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be oak planks for all I care. But maintain anything, which is a little bit of a step down because I originally said that we're going to do Superium, but let's kind of go easier here because oak planks, if they can do it once, they can do it multiple times, and then we can go ahead and go forward from there. Now, the reasoning for this giant explanation, is because automation is going to be what dictates whether or not my opinion of Sky Factory 4 changes. If this works out well, the ability to create and draft resources from nothing is going to become significantly better. If it fails, if it looks bad, if it just doesn't feel right, if it still doesn't open up the game, that's going to be a very, very bad sign for the mod pack. But I'm excited to see what these guys do today. I've done AE2 automation several times now. It's been an interesting run each time. So we'll see how these guys handle it. But anyways, Artie, Dearth, and Tex, take it away. I'm going to look on like a very, very proud soccer dad.
You're going to be disappointed.
Much like a soccer dad. And also, I expect the best of narration from you three.
Oh, okay. Well, I've already done a lot of this, so let's make the crafting terminal real quick here.
You were working on the processors, right, Artie?
I was working on everything, so there's a lot of stuff for everything. We need the pattern thing first.
Oh, can you also? I would like to add an extra requirement of please make it over here in like a separate area, so we can see it all cleanly being put together.
Well, okay.
Hey, tell me what you need, Artie, and I'll start building stuff.
What do you mean tell you? What?
What you have, because I don't know what you've built already.
I built nothing but the parts, so don't worry. Go for it.
No, Artie, I'm saying keep it as an independent system. I'll make you a new ME drive and stuff, but just make a new independent system because I want it to not interfere with anything that's going on here. I don't want it to reach into other things. It's proof that you guys know how to do it. It's so exciting.
You want me to make a platform? I can do a platform.
Can I just take a 0 in this class?
Nope, gotta take the class. Joseph, Liam, you boys are holding them to this. Your dad blows this off. Never let him live it down. Also kick him one slightly in the shins for me.
No, don't say that because they will.
So where should we put it? Back here or something, or?
So
what do you want, Chuck? How about behind the mob farm?
Well, I thought we were doing it next to the thing.
Wanna go here?
Wither
Okay.
cage.
Alright, there
Alright.
we go.
So like in front of it, in front of the wither.
Sure.
All right, I'll make a
Alright.
widen it.
We only need one crafting unit, right?
What kind of storage are we gonna do? We're gonna do 1K or?
Well, I mean, no
Oh.
point doing anything. Just go for whatever you can. The biggest.
Okay.
Are you doing the crafting storage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, crafting monitor. I just made one of these. What is wrong here? Why is this not making it?
I am back.
What happened to my bright illuminated
No idea.
panels?
Ooh.
Let's see. And I'm going to quickly draft up for them
What's
A-
the furnace for?
basic drive. Where would you like this drive, Artie?
I don't care. Probably back here where the we'll put the stuff.
So just stand on where you want me to put it.
Right here is fine.
Uh-oh.
The basic 1K storage though.
We're not gonna have enough Fluix
Sure, we will.
Flux Essence is up top.
up top. Alright.
All right, so let's see here. Ooh, off to a good start. I like it. A crafting monitor. I don't actually get this fancy even myself normally, so quite indulgent. A little bit, I will say, I'm not so sure about the way that you're making this. A little concerned.
But it has to be touching the molecular assembler, right? And then the crafting
No,
C's are on the side. All the way
I
around.
think you might be a little bit mixed up. That's all I shall say about it. I am, however, digging this pattern terminal. This is what I was looking for because I couldn't seem to find patterns themselves, but this is going to be what allows them to make different kinds of patterns, so it can be automated. I am so looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's right. Get your hopes up.
Well, 'cause-
so I can,
So
so I can dash them.
Please.
no, but this is a really big deal because this is actually the point where in our Modpack experience, this is for Sky Factory stone blocks for I guess they call them incremental games, but these games really open up once you have the ability to make automation for this. So I'm actually quite excited because it turns down a lot of the tedium. Like we don't have to make any more trips to Tinkers, for example, to get iron or to get blah blah blah. This now removes that restriction and allows us to just kind of go freely to be like, I want this. Okay, what do we need? Well, it's going to require a bunch of redstone and iron, all this tedium. Okay, well, let's make some patterns, throw them in there, and then you're good.
Sounds evil.
It's good. It means you got to focus on only the new stuff. Isn't that exciting?
No. No.
I am excited. Ooh. Okay.
So, all right, what do you want me to make?
You
What do you
sure
want me to
about
make?
this?
Yes.
Okay.
The worst you can do is go bad, because. Oh wait, no, that goes on the CPU. That's sitting off the side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm getting with you again. I think there's already one thing that you could be doing.
How are the CPUs, Tex? You're making the crafting CPUs, right?
Yeah, they're coming. I keep having to break down redstone stuff like that.
Are we going to be able to use glass cable?
Yes,
What-
you can use
what do you
flux
need,
cables. Yep, you can absolutely use
glass flux cables.
So
Because
you
we're
need more
gonna-
more redstone or something like that, Tex? I want to make some.
Yeah, if you have some, I'd appreciate it.
I like how this is turning into Artie as the foreman, these towards the workers. Lads, we're gonna need ourselves some more cables. Yes, sir. I think you two should unionize. Ask for better wages. What do you get paid right now?
They don't get hit.
Not enough.
Glowstone.
Oh my
is
gosh, you know what?
well.
This is low-key an episode for all children to enjoy. You're watching two dads suffering through an exam. Again, at this point in their lives. This is low-key a revenge episode for all the children in the world who feel like their dads bully them by making them do all this stuff.
I bully them anyways.
And so you said we do not need the ME.
Say that again?
We do not need the controller because we don't have to worry about the.
Yes, controllers aren't. I don't even think they're in the pack.
Artie, I am throwing the 64K crafting storage on you.
Oh, okay.
I made lots of redstone. KwehCraft. What else do you need?
We were running low on glowstone, but I got it as well now.
Oh!
No.
I gotta come over here and see what's going on.
No. Oh, it has to be certain, like 4, doesn't it, or 6, or 3x3, or does it need? Hold on. Give me a sec.
I am so looking forward to this. Oh, man.
All right, we have lots of glowstone now, Tex.
Thank you much, sir.
What else do I need to make?
I tell you what,
Already in
chat,
construction.
if I get enough hearts in chat, I'll give them 1 tip. How about that?
And if we get enough hearts in chat,
Do we need
we'll
an
kill
energy?
him a couple of times.
Do we
Whoa,
need
wait,
an energy
what?
cell over here as well, Artie?
Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah, sure. Throw the energy cell on there.
Okay, I'll grab one.
So there. Oh, it's a Futura block. Okay.
I got a flux point.
Yeah, I don't think we have to use power. Does it? Is it?
You will
The
need power
molecular
because
assemblers-
you're gonna need a
I think
power
it's-
thing.
Yeah,
What
it's
does that
multiple
got?
molecular assemblers, isn't it?
I
Say
doubt
that
where power
again?
goes.
Hold on. It's not just one molecular assembler. It's like that was the one that went around.
I think it goes like right here, Tex.
You're going. I don't know, Artie. How does it work?
Right there.
Yep, yep.
Around the.
Can we get some pogs in the chat? They got power going.
Oh, one sec.
Poggers! What gamers? Holy cow!
Be right back.
It's freaking on, lads. Andesite, interesting. Not so sure about this cluster right here. I would give that another look. There's something that doesn't look quite right about it. I like how it turns dead quiet. This is the only recording we've ever had where it's been super quiet. Usually
I'm
everyone
trying to
has
think.
something to contribute, and it's like I can just hear the hamsters and the wheels, just like, dude, no. I didn't live this many years of my life to be forced back into school. No.
I'm just waiting for Artie to tell me what to make.
Well, I'm working on the acceleration cards.
Well, I don't think there's enough hearts in chat for me to tell you an extra step here. But it's a pretty good start. You're well on your way to the very first part of it.
Okay, sorry, back. All right, let me. So I need
Artie,
to get that.
what should I make?
Noodle.
I need directions. Tell me
What?
what I need to make.
I'm trying to remember what the thing in the middle is here. Hold on. Applied energistics. What do we have?
Oh, he's breaking up the Googles.
No, I'm going in JEI and looking at applied energistics. Is it the crafting unit? Crafting unit. Make the crafting unit.
Crafting unit.
I'm already on it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, got
We'll
it.
just-
And I've also got the 4 acceleration cards.
Okay. Yes, let's throw the crafting unit in the middle there.
There's paintballs, apparently, and applied energistics.
In the middle of these?
Yeah. Is that it? That's not it, huh? Okay. What is it? Because hold on. Because I know there's something in the middle, so you can see the what is crafting.
Well, look, I will say that the crafting monitor is what shows you what's being crafted.
But that's not in the middle there. The crafting monitor is on the CPU.
Mm-hmm.
The
I've said too much.
CPU
I've said too much. Too much has escaped my lips.
Because in the other, the CPU, I had it gigantic on the side. All right.
And you've got the molecular assembler.
Do we need an interface of some sort?
I can't remember this thing. This is annoying.
In a minute.
Ooh, do we need a pattern terminal? Or did we already got one of those?
I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think the...
The crafting monitor wouldn't go in the middle.
No, it doesn't.
No. Mm-mm.
I put a furnace over here though if we need one.
Wait.
I love you, Tex.
You never know.
While they're doing that, we are also going to be making good use of our time from time to time.
No.
Whatever it is you put in there is what I need to put these accelerators in.
I think you put the accelerators in the actual molecular assemblers. All right.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
What crafting unit? Do we have one of those?
Yep.
Okay, so then the patterns are
I
going to
don't
go on.
see it. Oh, okay.
Right there.
Okay,
If I put it down, it breaks this. We need to put another thing down. Don't
Wouldn't
think.
the crafting unit go in the middle?
No, I think the interface goes in the middle because we hook it up to the. That's what the patterns go into. So you would connect the glass pipes up to that.
Thought they had have the assemblers all around it. No.
There.
Then how would you? But I meant there shouldn't be the one right on this side too.
Well, it should be, but not at the moment.
But then how would you access the interface later on if it's in the middle?
Huh?
I don't think it goes in the middle. I don't think it goes in the middle.
I think it does. Because that's
Okay.
where the patterns go.
I will offer one extra little push because this is outside the scope of what you guys are asked to do. I would also encourage you all to make an interface terminal.
I'll make that.
Is that one interface terminal? Where is that?
Alright, there's all the
Where's the
acceleration
glass
cards.
tubes, by the way? Do you have them all? Am I talking to myself?
What?
Which ones?
Do you have all the glass tubes?
All right, I got a terminal.
Do you have the glass tubes?
There's our glass tube. No.
You
I
said you were gonna make the
The flukes. The glass.
cables.
I never said that, but I will.
Oh, I thought you
What?
said it.
You did. You said,
I
"What do
did
you
not.
think?" And I said this, and you're like, "Okay." No,
And
it's
thus
fine. it's
anarchy
No,
did
you-
spread.
fine. I've
You
got
said
it.
one.
I've
You
got it.
said one thing, and then but Tech said he was already making it, but it wasn't.
No,
mean
he was
cables.
making something else. It's fine. I got it. It's done. Don't worry.
The merry band of three men decided to come down to anarchy and chaos.
The
No, I
furnace,
still
see
think
it.
that's. I
the
think
furnace
that's right.
has served its purpose.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
This is truly entertaining to me.
What do we need the interface terminal for?
I will explain after the fact because it does kind of give up the ghost as to what the actual function of the thing is. So I'm not going to give it away just yet. But later on, I'll explain it. You do not technically need it. It just makes life a little bit easier.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think we should have. And then we just make a pattern. I think we should be okay for this, right? Let me make some blink patterns. Let me test. You're not helping. You just sit there.
All I will say is maybe you want to look at your CPU because it seems to have funky colors. all I'm gonna say.
Yes, the CPU is broken, but what is happening? Why is it? The CPU is mildly broken. But that's because we need, I think, another. I'll make another coprocessor. Those are cheap and easy to make.
Right. Do we need any paintballs?
Oh, it's
That's
online.
what I said. I don't know why they're part of
Give me
AE2, but
wood.
I made more flux crystals. I figured
need
I'd
wood?
need them at the point.
No, I'm gonna test this.
Oh, for the pattern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has to be the exact amount, right?
Hold on. Yeah, but give me a second.
Choco's making a face.
Yeah,
No, you can't watch stream, Dearth. Turn that off.
You never said we couldn't watch stream.
No, no. I'm putting that rule in effect because I'm having the time of my life, and you're not going to deny me my enjoyment and the sharing of this joy with everyone.
Just for that, I'm not renewing my sub.
Wow, really salty about this build, aren't you?
I'll renew it tomorrow.
Dearth, it's for your own good, Dearth, so you can learn how to do AE2.
We're done.
Okay, which have you done? What have you done?
The chest.
Okay, so you have to make it so it automatically crafts a chest up to a certain number. Let's say 5. Because remember, your tasks are to make the CPU. You have to then also make.
Do it all. So
That's fine. I'm just saying that you have 3 tasks. One of them is to make the CPU. I will say that this is an okay grade. It's not perfect, but it will work. You'll see what the problem is later on, I think. Number 2, you need to make something that maintains a free-form craft thing that keeps to a certain level. In this case, like let's say 5 chests. And then the third thing is you have to also make something that works in the machine. Now, I would recommend that you do the machine thing earlier on because that can be used right away.
all right, let me get another interface.
I'm not even sure what language he was speaking there.
Yeah.
Machine make 5 chests all times.
What is happening with?
Alright.
If you look at the inventory and it doesn't have 5 chests and it's not making 5 chests, then something has gone wrong.
No, my thing JEI keeps resetting. Stop it.
What makes this so much more comedic? Wait, Dearth,
Press
stay still
one
for a moment.
chest.
Okay, Dex, Dearth, come here for a second. I just want to take a moment. I think this might be my thumbnail. Come here. Both of you come here. Okay, stay perfectly still and screenshot. Perfect. It's these 2 guys with donuts in their hands while Artie is like getting things from the AE2, scrambling around these 2. These are some good donuts. Mm-hmm.
Well, so wouldn't we have to make the pattern a 5 chest pattern? Is that even a thing?
It is a thing. I will say that. You do not need to do this, but it is a thing. Is this why parents watch their children do science projects and stuff? Is this what they get amusement from? 2 dads. Is this why you guys help? Assuming you help your kids with your projects?
I try not to, but
I make the wife do it.
Oh wow, these
they
slackers.
come to me for science stuff. The rest is mama.
They come to me when they need Minecraft help. Dad, I need more diamonds. All right, let me sound some in for you.
Dad, I need some more manual labor. I can do that, child of mine.
So if we take a blank pattern, put in 5 chests worth of wood surrounding it, that'll make a 5 chest pattern, right?
Nope.
Yes.
No. We did this before. That'll make 1. We could not mass produce.
Oh yeah,
remember?
okay, yeah,
We
yeah. Hold on.
tried.
Yeah, no. If it's a free-form pattern, then yes, that's true. A free-form pattern will not do that. That is true. That is correct.
Okay.
Because a free-form pattern only accepts one thing in a slot,
And
which is that's a weird thing that I think is fair to clarify because I still don't think that's a very like, I don't know why they did it that way. It's kind of dumb.
So could you just drop a pattern in the assembler then?
Bum, 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 bum. All right, we're gonna make 40 charcoal. Start.
It
And
won't
it
make
should
charcoal though. Oh, it's got a
Sure,
furnace.
it
Okay.
Hold on. Wait.
And you laughed at the furnace, Choco. You laughed.
No crafting CPUs are available. How do I cancel?
So do we need to put CPUs in each of the molecular assemblers?
It's cancel. Hold on. Not CPUs. Why is it? I've not done the. Oh wait. Hold on. Cancel. I think I see. Right. Furnace. We're going to clear this out. Wait, what is? Okay, let's try this again.
Too quiet.
Wait a minute, I missed the last one.
Uh-huh. Well, as you're recording, Choco, let me give you this stuff.
Yep.
Get it out of my inventory.
Ooh! Oh, these are the gifts. I forgot. So,
Yeah.
Little aside, while I gave them a homework assignment, Artie made gifts, and these are some really
Teacher's
cool
pet.
ones. Ooh, look at that. So, inventory. Oh wow! I'm just gonna.
Oh,
I
what was that?
ate the inventory upgrade.
Yes.
Oh,
So cool. A little bit disturbing of a sound. And then you also got us some heart containers.
all right. So
I'm
auto
eating my
charge
heart out.
sensor.
That's. Oh, I can't remember.
Ooh, I have one extra heart.
You have one more than one. Oh, because you ate one before.
Yeah, I think I ate one before.
So we have another stack in there, just in case we need to delete anybody else's data.
Gotcha.
Just,
And the AE2?
So
now if you-
Artie,
Mhm.
in these molecular assemblers, what is that extra storage space up there?
the ME interface.
No, in the up top above the output slot.
I assume we can put patterns in there to make patterns. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Okay. But over here, our problem is figuring out how to make a pattern that'll produce 5.
Well, no, he wants something that will automatically produce. It'll just constantly monitor and make sure.
I don't know. This teacher, he's just.
Yes.
I'm not a teacher. I'm the proctor. I'm the exam proctor. I'm here to make sure that none of you cheat.
So would you be a proctorologist?
No, just a proctor. I don't have a high enough degree to become a proctorologist. Or a helicopter proctor. A heliproctor, if you would. Wait, is helicopter and heliproctor, could I make the same word if I just scramble the letters around? Sorry, I'm distracting you guys. What am I doing? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to distract you all from your task.
Mm-hmm.
On the upside, you're one of 3 things done. Can I give one thing of feedback, though, on the CPU? Because the CPU is already done.
I mean, what do you want to give? What did we do wrong?
You didn't necessarily do anything wrong.
How is it not perfect for you?
No, but I think that this might, number 1, help you see what's happening, and number 2, it's something that you already had done once, but then you, for whatever reason, undid it. So I would like to correct that.
Okay.
This crafting unit is a filler block. So this crafting unit doesn't actually do anything. It's just there to make sure that the shape is fine. It's any kind of rectangular or cubic-esque shape. So it can be like a 3x2, it could be a 3x3, it could be a 3x3x3, it can do all kinds of stuff. But you can replace that with the crafting monitor that you guys made, and it will show you what it's currently doing to see if it's actively trying to make something.
That's what it was. I thought I left the crafting monitor in there. All right. There. I mean, it'll still show us, but...
Also, I've been just informed by chat that Heliproctor is unfortunately not going to be able to turn to helicopter. This is a very somber moment. F in chat, please, for this horrible, horrible time. Comment section, I expect you all to also drop an F in comments. Poor thing, didn't deserve this.
You don't know how bad I want to cheat right now.
It's an open book exam. You can absolutely look up anything, just you can't watch stream. But you can absolutely refer to videos, you can look up written guides, you can look up some smoke signals from your really avid Minecrafter friend that's over the hills.
Can I go into game mode and grab what and everything else?
No. Although honestly, even with game mode, it wouldn't change what you do and do not know. So if you know what you need to do, it's just item acquisition. I'm sure that the other guys can help.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what goes in this corner of this ME interface. It looks like some kind of card. I've tried advanced card, basic cards.
Yeah, that's what I was
tried
talking to
all
Artie
of them.
about a while ago.
I tried an acceleration card, an advanced card, a basic card. None of them work in it.
There is a certain card that will work in it, but this is outside the scope of what you have to worry about, I think, for right this moment.
Ooh, wait. Oh, I think I found it.
Is it a platinum card?
It's Discover. Aha.
Oh, actually, hold on. I made a big fat lie. You actually do need to use that slot, which Dearth just put in. I will correct myself there. Sorry. I kind of blanked. I forgot that you're doing this backwards.
I did a good.
Indeed did. Students, I'd like to say that 34 minutes has passed on the clock. 34 minutes. Actually, it's probably more like 30. The intro is pretty long. Let's see a game commander.
Make stuff.
So what are you working on right now?
I don't know.
Futility?
Well, so are you working on... I'm assuming that you're using the furnace as your machine output thing, and then your free form is going to be the chest. So which of the two are you working on, the chests or the furnace?
I'm working at the moment on the chest. The furnace I gave up on for the moment.
But
It's
it's
the,
still got,
I tried using the processing and that didn't work.
but it's still got the one pattern.
I'm assuming it needs something on top and bottom to connect the furnace so it knows to put it in and pull it out. But so here. Because this is as far as I've ever gotten.
We went a step further than this, I think.
Nope.
Stone block?
This is exactly what I did, except I just did it on a big scale.
Did I show you how the thing works in my little like chain version of it though?
You talked to me about it.
Was it a crafting card, Dirth?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Process. Why
You
is
should
this
be able to see it if you looked in there.
Yeah, if you have your
Yeah.
tooltips on, you can also see like what it can potentially work with.
I don't like to cheat.
Why is it not processing?
It says it's scheduled. Is there something to tell it to actually do the crafting?
Who knows? I think it's
Yeah.
supposed to do it from there, but
Because of each molecular assembler, don't we need a co-processing unit for each one to match? Or the two we have enough to run all 5?
you can only do I think one at a time. Not sure. I keep getting this one thing back again. Processing. Okay, let's just cancel it. I had it working once. Now I'm over it. Alright.
Alrighty. I think we might need this.
We have some of
Panels.
those
We do? Where?
in my hand. That's what he was saying is the extra part doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, crafting
just-
units are fillers. They're not. They don't do anything in and of themselves.
Yeah, we're gonna need.
Okay, so we make crafting plan, right? Should be where we decide how many.
Well, Choco wants one for
Oh.
every item there is in the game.
Wait, do we need like an
No.
import bus or something? To import the stuff into it?
I don't know if it's import bus or interface. What's the? Do we have an import bus? I think
Probably.
import bus is just for the chests and stuff to let them know that it's part of. But we'll try it.
Wait a minute. Are we missing a block?
Probably.
Ooh, it's getting good.
Are we? Could we do like a hot and cold? Like getting warmer, getting colder.
You
Go
are
back to
getting
like
quite
it.
warm on the processing side.
Oh, there goes already.
Yeah, I tried to fly. It didn't work out well. No, this one I think is going to be an import bus. Can I just go down the hole, please? Whatever.
Do
Okay.
we need an import and an export? Want an export to take it out, and an import to put stuff in? No. I'll make an export just so I have it.
Export. Oh, come on.
I got an export bus. I'm gonna throw it on you, Artie. I don't know if we need it, but just in case.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna need the other one to throw. I don't know how to make it throw fuel in there. The processing pattern. Sent it to me.
Good job. You've done your first processing pattern.
Well, sort of. Again, I had to throw the fuel in there.
Yeah, but that can be an external thing. That's better managed doing an external version of it.
Okay, so tell me how you solved it.
What do you mean? The same way I did with this one. You put the interface on top of it. And you put the pattern inside the interface. Kind of like over here, where I have the interface in the middle. You put the
So
pattern.
the pattern's actually going into the interface, not through this. Oh, okay. Okay, got you.
Yeah. And if I put it back so it's not.
Oh,
like,
we got the
messed
import
up.
bus in the bottom. Can't we put like
Well,
coal
the
or
import
something like
bus. I think if we put it in the side, maybe we could. But the import bus on the bottom, because on the furnaces you have to take the item out through the bottom.
Yeah, so in
believe
this
it's
case, you could do like an export bus to your AE2 system that's churning out charcoal to the bottom of it. But I think for right now, don't focus on that. But let's go to the auto-crafting.
Yeah, auto-crafting I've never done or seen.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Uh-huh.
Pretty close.
We're gonna need a bigger CPU too. Hey Tex, you want to make a few more CPUs? Like 1, 2.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
either
Okay, I muted in
Mine.
Discord
Like
because I find this too
5
funny.
more?
I don't know why they
The
did jungle wood
co-processing?
planks. 'Cause
'Cause
they only have 4 in here.
Like 1 to 16K CPUs.
Oh, okay.
Also, if they were able to
They don't have to match. I don't
remove
think.
the
They just have to be in
chests
a
here,
certain-
they would see the craft button pop
build.
up probably, and that would tell. That would give them a little bit more information. But I can't.
Oh
get
right,
a
we wanted to
coal
do the
ghost.
inscriber, right? Yes, that was it. Okay, let's grab this inscriber. All right, so it's gonna have to be stuff.
Well, for the,
Oops.
I think since you've already done a processing thing, why don't you just go ahead and do the Why don't you just go ahead and do the auto crafting? That's the last thing, and then I can help you with the rest of it, because the rest of it's just repeating what you've done here, basically.
So do I need the CPUs or not?
Yeah. We're gonna need them
Okay.
anyways. Auto crafting. Just so it forever has just 5 being made.
Well, it forever has 5 in stock, is what we're hoping for. So, as an example, if I were to pull out, currently have 6 chests in here. If I pull out 3 of them, if I just have it, then it would create 2 more to go back to 5. But if I add in a stack, it won't do anything. And as soon as that's done, got a passing grade, guys. You're so close. Group project number 1, doing pretty good. Pretty
That's with a
proud.
G minus, but passing nonetheless.
Passing is a passing grade. Can't complain. It means that you're good enough for Kweh work. I mean, look at how far you guys have come. You've put together a processing thing. You've got yourself a CPU. You just need to put the final piece of this puzzle together, and then you're good.
How many did you need, Artie?
5.
I'll tell you what. Chat can decide what grade you guys get.
Z.
No, Tex. These things. The storage.
Oh.
Why? I was pointing to him. You were standing on top of him.
The
Oh, no.
storage. Okay, it's fine. Here, give me those back. I can use those.
No, not really. You put them in the disk drive, right?
Yeah.
You can't take them out.
Yeah.
Wait.
But
Hold
we
on.
can still use them.
I'm pretty
Should
sure.
we raise the stakes? Should we make it so like if they don't manage to figure out in the next 5 minutes or so that we have them do the entirety of processing for the farm?
Yeah, if they
You
can't do
make
it,
the
let's
uncrafting
make them
table.
do it.
No, like just doing things like putting together things. I can show you the steps so you can just replicate it like a bunch of times.
Uh-huh.
I know you guys can replicate. I know that once I show you how to do it, you guys know how to do that. But
Uh-huh.
Oh, we can copy real good. That's how I got through high school.
well, I would just say, should we add in a little time thing? I think that could be fun.
No,
We're going on 47 minutes for the
7
recording,
minutes.
so
I
I
don't do
would.
good under pressure.
Okay. Well, we'll let them take this at their own pace.
We can't make the uncrafting table. That sucked. Ooh, wait. Okay, got that. Hey, Tex, I think we can unmake those things.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
I mean, if you give me the old ones, I think I can uncraft them.
I already did.
How'd you uncraft them?
I just put them in there and took them out. Just
Where's
took
the-
them out of the casings.
Oh, you can take them out? Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd the pattern for the chest go? Oh, okay. Well, that's gone now. All right.
Deadgummit.
Oh, well, we have an uncrafting grinder now.
Oh, what is this? Control Z. Create a cyclic
Oh,
uncrafting
nice.
grinder. Cool.
It's supposed to uncraft stuff so you get the materials back.
That's kind of neat. I wonder if it works with
Wanna
the
test
AE2 stuff.
You can use that, or you can do it just take it in and do them individually.
I'm gonna throw in a 1K thing and see if I get the parts, what I get back from it. Okay.
Dirth, could I get you to make me a 64K storage still, or storage component?
64K storage component.
Yeah. I just need one more.
They just made a chest. What?
Storage.
I'm so confused.
Okay.
Blocking
I
mode.
don't understand why they're not removing the things. I don't get it. I don't get it, chat. I don't get it.
5 chests. Did that just go right back in?
Almost there, Tex.
Gotcha.
I got 2 of them.
They have plenty of wood.
In the system.
Why is it?
Thank you much, sir.
You're welcome. So Choco, it does work with AE2, by the way, that uncrafter. I threw in a 1K and I got back the flux crystals and stuff.
All right, can these
Oh,
just be
that's cool.
stacked on top, Artie, or does it matter?
I would do around this edge here to make it a 3x3. Okay, so this has an option for an ME interface to do not push crafting items if crafting contains inventory contains items. Do we need?
Now I'm getting nervous that I don't know how to do it. I need to brush up on it now because I'm starting to get confused. I'm starting to get nervous that I'm going to be like, you fools, it's done this way. It won't work. I'm like, crap. It's all a lie.
I just want it to be the teacher has been taught. Where's the one you just made, Dirth? The breaker thing.
Oh, down over here because it needed power.
I was gonna make
Right.
one time and I never did, so I'm curious.
Right here. Right here. Put it on the left by the question mark, and you'll see the bar on the bottom moving as
See,
it analyzes it, and then the parts pop out. And
Yeah, this is so much more efficient because the way you have to do it over there is you have to do them one at a time, and then you have to take the one out you put in, put another one in, take it out, take the other part out, take both components out. So this you can just drop a stack in there. Yeah, that's much gooder.
gooder.
Wait, what are
Yeah,
you guys
much gooder.
doing?
He was checking out the uncrafting thing.
Okay.
Or-
Gotcha.
It's over here.
You can do it
Fancy.
one at a time in the system, but if you do it with that, you can do it like stacks. So if you accidentally make a stack, you can throw them in there. So that's nice.
Also, random side, if you guys were following along with our adventures, we did manage to reignite the whole fusion reactor, which was a cause of great pain and sadness. Also, I'd like to go ahead and give a shout out to Tex and Dirth for somehow managing to do a completely different task than the one at hand.
Hey, we got enough power to restart the thing again.
It's true, but right now, I think Artie could use a little bit of help.
Well, he needs to tell us what to make.
It may not necessarily always be that you need to make something, Dirth.
It's sad, but he's the brains of the operation.
Artie's a pretty sharp tack. He's a pretty smart cookie.
And he's got a nice bag there and a big sword.
Okay, so now that we have 5 in there, it's no longer showing in the.
Step away from the machine. Everyone step away from the machine right now. Proctor coming in.
Huh? What?
Our proctorologist is coming in to examine us.
No, you did not succeed. I regret to inform you.
No kidding. I'm glad you came to this conclusion while I was saying this isn't working. It's
Oh, I thought you
That's
had
amazing
somehow
assistance.
managed. I thought you had managed to get it to take, and I was like, oh, okay.
no.
It's
I got
cool.
really excited. Okay, I jumped the gun a little bit. I apologize.
No. I'm looking here because I'm fairly certain it has to do with this, but because there's an option at the top to show or hide on the interface and to blocking, which is what I thought we were doing, but that doesn't seem to be working.
Show and hide interface, I think, has something to do with interface terminals. It has nothing to do with what you're currently doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn that back on to
Oh.
show.
I thought it would just stop it from showing if it had the number in there.
No, I think that has something to do with something different.
Looks to me like it needs a crafting card.
What are you looking at?
It needs some kind of card.
Where? What are you? Oh, this one up top?
Yeah.
I don't think he's using that one. I think he's using the one that's in the middle of the molecular assemblers.
Yeah, me too.
Look, I'm just finding spots with something they need and filling them.
This is.
It's beyond me at this point.
You see, this makes me feel better inside because AE2 hurt me a little bit, and I feel like I'm sharing now, and we can fondly reflect upon those times that AE2 was mean and a bully to both of us. So, all 4 of us now can carry the horrible, horrible memories of learning AE2 autocrafting from the ground up. It's great.
Because we needed that lesson again.
Yes.
Well, I did learn.
There you go,
But,
Tex. I put the card in it anyways, just to appease you.
Oh, nice. Good
Well,
stuff.
we'll need multiple to
Aw.
make more things.
Hold on.
But so what I learned is just do stuff the old way, and if you need to autocraft something, run over to Choco's area.
Wait, what?
Good lesson. Thanks, Teach. And when in
No.
doubt, hold a donut.
It appears that something is wrong with it seems to be pinpointing a part that is having a hard time.
How about this? What? Wait, it just disappeared.
Yeah. Okay. Let me do another 2. 2. Okay, so we have 5 in there. Let me do one more. 6, you bugger.
No, you want it to be able to go above the number. You don't want it to ever be below the number. So again, as an example, if I were to bankrupt you and then you have 0, then I want the chests to go back up to 5. It doesn't matter if I come back from a trip and I bring back 20 chests, I dump it in there, that's fine. But I don't want it to ever go underneath a certain number. So for example, let's say that we want to make a new kind of crop and we need a bunch of Superium. I don't want to sit there having to craft Superium manually or having to input it every single time I want Superium. I just want Superium on hand. Or similarly, like let's say that we always want a certain kind of food that's a little bit better than what we currently eat. Then we can have it auto-craft the food for us so we always have a travel-ready supply of food.
Like broccoli.
Oh, Dearth and Tex, but especially you, Tex. Come here. Show everyone those derpy eyes. It scares me that your eyes like gleam as if like a light's in the center of them. Wow, what is this shady thing? You guys look so sketchy. What the heck? No, go back. What is this?
This is the
Artie,
hidey
come
hole.
look at them. Look at these shady individuals.
Get to work!
It used to be a nice neighborhood until these guys came in here, acting all shady. Wow, that's crazy. On my screen, you were just like pitch black. Like, that's nuts. That was weird. Like, do I look like pitch black to you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Look fine to me, but I have night vision.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
yeah, I guess.
yes, Batman. I guess for you it'll be fine, but for us regular folk.
I upgraded my armor. Oh yeah, my people watching my video will wonder why I have night vision, absorption, resistance, and fire resistance.
Charms.
Yep, charms on my armor. You can only put 1 on each piece of armor.
Mm-hmm.
These are the ones that I chose. So I have an extra row of absorption hearts.
I really think you guys could help figure out what's going on with the whole thing here.
Yep, I'm on it.
You guys are so close, like so incredibly close, as far as I can remember.
Okay, first of all, I would have to understand what's happening.
It's true.
Alright, we've already put a crafting card in that, Dearth, so...
Yeah, but that's not even hooked up to anything. The top one. Pretty sure it has something to do with the interface.
Excuse me, we're trying to work here.
Ah! They just made more chests. I don't know why.
This text told it to.
Oh, did I?
Somebody did, right?
No?
You guys didn't
I'm
tell
not-
it to make.
I might have.
No.
If I did, I didn't mean to.
It,
Or Choco is, because he's gone
No,
silent.
I am not. I'm just opening inventories, admittedly, but I'm not messing with it.
Because I refuse to believe it just started working just to mess with us.
Well, I was in here in the config, and I was.
Oh.
Seems like could be a great place to diagnose a problem.
Why are all the patterns in there?
Oh.
What if you put a config
So-
on a config?
You don't need to connect to both sides. It's one. It'll power the whole thing. You just have to connect at one point for a Millic or similar to an interface. You can make giant cubes if you so desire.
So here.
I don't even know how they're accomplishing some of this. I'm seeing things I've never seen before. Admittedly,
Well-
I'm not like an expert in this, but some of this stuff is really, really confusing to me. I'm starting to
Has
doubt what
4
I know.
olive wood planks. The chest takes 8. What? I'm confusing myself.
Alright, give me a sec.
Or shouldn't we need 2? Okay, so the encoded pattern that's spitting out the 4 wood planks should be continuously going, right? So we should constantly be getting the wood planks.
I think we want a certain number. We don't want to always be shooting out wood planks.
But the chests aren't going to continue to go if it's only shooting out the 4. We need at least 8 for it to produce
Yes,
one
but they're-
chest. So we want a multiple of.
Well, yeah, I took a lot of the wood out because I was trying to make the things make it.
Hold on, real quick. Could I ask you guys to step away from the whole thing? I just want to confirm that I actually know how to do this before I like throw you guys a red herring inadvertently, because I don't mean
sure.
to do that.
You do, but okay.
No, I don't actively wish to sabotage you all.
And he says
Kinda
I'm the
do.
chaos guy.
Okay, so let me just throw together this.
I already know the subtitle or the title of his video. 3 Stooges try to figure out what a round hole is. Or 3 Stooges try to
Dumber and dumbest.
try to shove a square pin in a round hole.
Uh-oh, do I not know how to do this anymore?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, okay, I gotcha. All right, I know what's going on. That's weird. Okay, that's weird. Okay, wait, hold on, text. Step yeah, hold on. Step away for a minute again. I'm gonna explain really quickly on stream and YouTube before you guys continue. So walk away, walk away. All right. Okay, so what happened here is that this thing, if I put 5 into this slot, it actually does understand that it needs to do something with it. So you see the chest flicker on there, and I get 5 output. But currently it's not
There's a lot
traveling.
of
I don't know
torches
why
around here.
that's happening, but this, if I do it this way, it does automatically craft those 5. So it does understand this. They don't need encoded patterns here. They just need to drop the items in here. So it'll auto craft that. Now, granted, I'm not quite sure why it's not feeding back into the inventory. I'm kind of under the impression that there was a way to have it just kind of work, so I'm a little bit surprised. But either way, it is working. I'm pretty sure that just fed the 5 in, yeah, so we'll have to see. There's probably something else that I'm blanking on here, but they do need to get at least that part going. I'm going to do a little bit of research because I don't remember why this would happen. I don't think you need an import bus, but we shall see. All right, back to you guys. I have confirmed that it is doable.
Mhm. Right.
There is one thing that has been tripping me up about the whole thing, but there is one step that you can certainly do from this point quite easily.
Why is it? Alrighty.
Yep.
Or come over here and look. Let me.
Feel free to try whatever. I don't know.
I know. Well, come
Just
over here and look at this
order
ME
that.
interface. That's what I'm trying to show them. When I was playing with this before Choco kicked us off. Are you in the ME interface?
Mhm.
I put one there. See, it starts making them.
Right.
Well, there it goes.
If I take them out, so it makes however many are up here. Now it's only going to make 5. So you don't put the patterns up here. You must put the item itself up there, and the patterns stay down here. So this is just the quantity of whatever we want. So if I told it this, I can tell it. Well, actually, no, wait. We would need.
That's kind of what I was trying before, but it didn't seem to work.
So, like, if I put in 4 of these here, see, it made 4 more.
Right, but does it automatically
So
do
if
it if we just put 4 in here?
I don't know.
Because, like, it's not doing it from in here. It's not just keeping it on hand. It's doing it if we put it directly in here, but not if we do it.
Well, we're closer than we were before. I figured something out.
Yep.
Sure.
I don't know why it's doing that. Like, so this is why I was wondering why it was randomly making chests. It must have been because I stuck them up here.
So it's something over here with this interface then that's.
I love the fact that Dearth and Tex always have donuts in hand, and Artie's the only one that's like serious and just like gotta focus. These two.
I'm focusing.
I know, but it's just I can just imagine like little speech bubbles above each character's head. I just see Artie's like just a whole bunch of simples, you know, because Artie is going through a tumultuous moment of his life, and you two just kind of having like, "Hey there, Tex. Wow, crazy weather we're having, huh?" Tex just like, "Yep, donut's pretty good. How's your donut?" "It's pretty good. How about
Looks
them?
like the machine's not working right.
Try
That there AE2 seems kind of nuts, huh? Yeah, be a shame if I had to work on it."
The worst part is even the document just what we already have, not just always keeping stuff on hand.
Can I? Do you guys want a little bit of a hint?
That'd be nice.
No,
Maybe,
I enjoy the struggle. Yeah.
maybe you need one extra thing added on here. Maybe.
Ah!
Maybe
Well,
maybe you're
probably
maybe
need
you're
an
missing
entire bus.
one. All I will say is maybe you need something that needs to, because I think what Dearth had found about this is great, but it seems like you could use a little bit of something extra. There might be another way about it, but a little something extra might be able to push you over the edge.
Well, there's only so much extra we can add, so
There's one specific thing extra that I'm thinking about.
is an ME interface.
It is not an ME interface, no. The
Well,
block
that's all I
and
had.
the block and like the thing that just attaches on, they're the same exact thing.
It's the ME interface.
What?
The ME
The
interface?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the ME,
interface.
both ME interfaces do the exact same thing. So it's not adding another interface does not make it work better. Unless you guys discovered something new. But the way I do it, I don't have to worry about it. I'm kind of shocked. I thought something else would work, but
I tried doing it in molecular assembler. That didn't work. Crafting stuff doesn't work. What else do we have for applied energistics? Crafting unit co-processing. Not the matter condenser, right?
What about a cell workbench? No.
I think what you could use is something to look at the inventory here and maybe interact with said inventory.
Well, are you talking about this ME interface terminal here?
No, the interface terminal has nothing to do with anything.
And it's not going to be the crafting terminal or the pattern terminal because we have all.
It has nothing to do with the terminals.
Well,
I think there is something that you could do because, okay, I'm going to recap what you guys have done as far as I can see. So there's a CPU, there's a furnace
crafting
thingy.
monitor?
No, so you have the CPU, you have this, but then when it came to this specifically, the ME interface, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten it to the point where it's now able to craft to a certain number of items. So it is auto crafting to a level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you just need to have it interact with something else. Maybe, well, I mean, technically you did do the job, right? We always will have, I guess, the chests here. I suppose it's technically a clear,
Sure.
right?
Now tell us what to work. Yeah, sure. We got it. Okay, what are we missing?
I think you can just add in, so there's, let's see, is this still in the game? So there's something called level emitter, which will let you know like how much of something is in there. But I think you can even just make it work by adding in a storage bus onto this ME interface. I think that would work.
But
Let me see. I'm kind of curious myself. This is the part you guys hit the point whenever I was like, I 100% know, and then you enter the part where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I remember, but
okay,
might
we
take
have
me
a
a minute.
storage bus in there, so
Here, hold on. Let me just rip this out. I don't know how I'm getting donuts in my inventory. I can only assume that some ruffians are doing this.
Never.
And there you go.
there we go. What's it making?
It's making chests. And it's
Just
maintaining the
infinitely?
chests. No, it's going to only make to whatever amount you set, which was some, like crazy number of 48 or whatever for some
It
reason.
was 46. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, congratulations! You all have managed. Why is this TNT here? No. You have managed to create your very first AE2 Autocrafting automated setups that covers all the basics of everything. So let's recap what happened here, shall we? Very first thing that happened was they went ahead and they started off their ME system with some kind of internal storage, power, and some ways to interact with their system, namely through terminals.
Why is it not working?
Why is what not working?
Why is it not maintaining?
Just give it a minute. I don't know why it's being slow. I don't know why it's a potato that way. Also, it might have run out of wood. Yeah, it's run out of wood as well. Because you made the number extremely high. Here, I'm going to rip off this molecular assembler on the back, and I'm going to turn down these numbers to not be ludicrously high. And then we'll just do like... So now I'll try to maintain 5. As per the original agreement. Get out of here, donuts. Okay, so let's recap.
Don't mock the donut.
So they got this all going, then they have terminals. The first thing that they made was a pattern terminal, which was very important. Pattern terminals allow you to make patterns, which allow them to basically take a crafting recipe of some sort and then use the crafting recipe to instruct something within AE2 to interact with it to make an item. So there's 2 different modes. There's this crafting, and then there's a processing pattern. A crafting pattern will intuitively understand that, hey, this is something that you can just put into a crafting table and it'll automatically work. If it's done via a processing pattern, it says this is an input to something, probably a machine, and that's going to go ahead and require us to act a little bit differently. It's basically saying, put this in, expect this out. That's the main goal here. So the next part, they worked on the CPU. This is going to be telling them, it's going to be telling other machines like, hey, this is what you're going to be building. Let's go ahead and start at it. So the components here are the crafting storage, which is how much data it can support. The bigger your crafting order, the more of these that you're going to need. If you are making co-processing units, this dictates how many extra operations you can run in parallel. So I believe with these 2 here, you can make 3 molecular assemblers do the work for you. So if they were to do an industrial amount, it would only be able to use 3. Currently they have 4. I don't think there's ever a situation where all 4 would come into play because there's only 2 CPU or 2 co-processing units on their CPU. As for the crafting monitor, this simply allows you to have a visual way to inspect whether or not your CPU is currently working with anything. Cool. And then for the furnace, they added it. So the furnace is one of those region-specific ones, so that's what tripped them up a little bit. They have an ME interface on the top with the actual pattern, the encoded pattern for charcoal. Therefore, it's going to give this furnace 1 thing of olive wood, and it expects that the output will be a charcoal, which is then fed out through the bottom through an importer, an import bus. Now, one extra note, as they mentioned earlier, yes, you will need to have fuel coming in here in the case of a furnace. But what you can do is you can use an export bus just to say, hey, make sure that this is constantly stocked with charcoal, and that would be perfectly fine. Now moving on to the big old boss of the whole thing, the actual freeform assemblers.
Me?
No.
Oh.
But this assembler, if anything, it's Artie's that's the big boss, as I learned today, as you 2 are basically just like, yep, where do you want me to put this, boss? Yep, I'll go ahead and make that right quick. But
Yeah, I kind of figured out how to the whole ME interface
yeah,
thing.
after you guys goofed around on the other side of the map.
Hey, I made a furnace.
Anyways, so they made molecular assemblers. Each of these will basically act as if they're a crafting table, I guess you can think of. So it's an automatic crafting table. I think that's a pretty good way to think about them. Now, each of these has a slot for an actual encoded pattern. So they could put an encoded pattern here, and that's a pretty simple, straightforward way to do it. But if you want it to do multiple things, then you're going to need an ME interface. Now, for the way that this works is that you can basically make like an ever-expanding cube of cluster of these things. So they could, in theory, have another interface here, followed by another ME interface, or an assembler here, interface, assembler, interface, so on and so forth, and make it into at least a cubic structure. That is possible. Whether or not it's needed, especially right now, probably not. But that's the general idea. So the reason why this works is because this interface interacts with these assemblers that are around it and says, hey, I have these recipes. Could you guys help me out with that? So in this particular case, if they put in a work order, it would go through this CPU, because there's no other ones, but they'll go through this CPU, which is going to say, hey, I have 2 co-processing units, and I'm also a CPU in of myself. So this thing's going to say, gotcha. This interface will handle the job. Hey, assemblers, I only have the ability to instruct 3 of you at once because of the CPU, and it's going to go ahead and put the order through. So they have a way to do freeform without anything else. Now, the part that was a little bit confusing and kind of trippy was this part right here. When it comes to the way that you have to do this, number 1, you do need a crafting card, which I did forget. And then number 2, you're also going to need to make sure that you have for yourself this kind of item on the very top here, because that's going to basically instruct the system to say, hey, I need to have X number of certain item. So in this case, we told it to have 5 chests. Now, if I were to rip out the chests from here, you'll notice that it will attempt to restock the chests. Hopefully. Maybe. Possibly. Question marks.
Uh-huh.
It's working great, ain't it?
Chogo broke it.
And then I'm going to put another ME interface over here. And what I'm doing right now is since we're seemingly having a lot more problems than I thought we would, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to kind of like the old-fashioned way of doing this. So I'm going to go ahead, put the crafting card into here. Oh, who put 5 capacity cards in the storage bus?
Tex.
What?
Just because it sits still long enough, you can't.
I don't think that impacts anything. It's just strange. All right. Does anyone have the pattern for the chest that fell on them? Question mark. I seem.
Did you pick it up already?
Wait. Oh, it's here. It's just invisible for some reason.
Yeah, I don't think I made any capacity cards.
Okay.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I made them because I was trying to figure out what cards we might need to fill them, and
Okay. So
That
let's
was
do
one of them.
2,
Gotcha.
and then we're gonna go ahead and have the storage bus feed back in, and then a Fluix cable here. There it goes. Okay, so that works properly. That's so strange. I kind of assumed that would work normally, but I guess it doesn't. So this is, I guess, the way that you ought to do it now. Just have it independent. I don't know why that works that way, but yes, that works. So in here now, if you look at this terminal, you can say like, oh, we have 2 chests. You pull, it'll automatically start crafting it from whatever source it needs, and then it'll create the chest. You can do that as many times as you like, and that'll work fine every single time. Sorry about that. Really weird moment of what the heck is happening, but hey, the old system still works, so good enough. Man, I don't know what I did to myself. Okay, well, gentlemen, does that all make sense?
nope.
Okay, so does everyone understand the CPU part? Because we are going to have to make a lot of these. So CPUs, does this make sense?
Yep.
I need to hear all 3 of you.
I can copy real well, so yes.
No, you have to understand how it works, because there are going to be different kinds of CPUs needed. It's really not that hard. There's 2 things that you need to be able to understand.
Yeah, the co-processing one and
Right. So again, the storage, like, so if you put a crafting order through and it says like you don't have enough data or whatever, then you need to make more crafting storage for that particular one. So if we ever make a big one that's used to handle like bulk orders or something, I have no idea what we would do that for. But let's say that we
Donuts.
sometime, yeah, sure, we need like
lots of donuts.
1,000 donuts, right? That's going to require a lot of data, so we might need more crafting storage. So that's that side of the equation. Crafting monitor is optional. I just think it's very handy. And then the co-processing unit is going to dictate how many of these molecular assemblers or parallel actions that it can take. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so I believe it's 1 for any CPU by itself, and then the co-processing units all add an extra 1. So in this case, I think it can handle 3, if I'm not mistaken. So does this? Okay, so that's the CPU. The furnace thing, you have the interface leading into its input side. In this case, the furnace's input is on the top. You put your pattern in here. It has to be a processing pattern. And then you go ahead and you say like, so in this case, we said expect wood in here, and then you'll pop out charcoal, and then an import bus to get the result from the machine, because this is not AE2, right?
And that is a good looking furnace, I have to say.
Mm-hmm, the best. Does this make sense, Dearth?
Yep.
Okay, because we're going to do this with inscribers next, so be aware. I will count on everyone to be able to do that.
No, we only need to do it once, so we're good.
We need to do it 7 times for just the inscribers.
Why?
So because we have to do each inscriber as doing 1, because we can't take out the individual.
Oh,
Yeah, we can't take out the individual presses. So, Dearth, text, does this make sense to you?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And then the last thing, of course, was this. Now, we tripped up because I guess it doesn't play nicely in the interface that's currently facing the assemblers, which I don't really understand why that's the case. But this thing right here is going to be able to craft things for us, basic things, regardless of what's going on. So if I were to remove this other interface, we could just use this to create all wood planks as well as chests. Yep.
Right.
Darth?
Yep.
Okay. And then this thing, this extra step that we added, this interface, this is going to allow us to set levels because I put the crafting card in here and then I put the levels in there with no other patterns or anything going on. And this just works for whatever reason. So internally in its storage, it will not understand the drive is what's going to end up. It won't be like, oh, we need to send this to the drive. It's just going to hold it in the storage or in the ME interface's storage capacity. The storage bus is communicating to the system saying, hey interface, I see that you have 2 chests, and that's relaying it to the AE2 system saying, hey, we have 2 chests available, because it's basically adding its inventory to the AE2. So this is determining the automatic stock level. All good?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. We'll just forever leave this here.
I mean, for a sample thing, it's not bad. Okay, so a couple things before we wrap things up here. Number 1, interface terminal. You might be wondering why we went ahead and made one of these. It's because this is going to allow us. So you remember, I think it was Dearth, who had asked the question, like, if you put an assembler on top of here, how are you supposed to interact with the terminal? I can't remember who said this, but when someone said, like, if you cover up with a molecular assembler, how are you supposed to reach it? The answer is interface terminals. This will allow you to basically interact with their inventories for the patterns and say, like, hey, I would like to go ahead and put in a pattern here, and it will do that for you. So you don't have to actually go out and, find the machine, go plug it in or whatever. You can just handle the patterns from the interface terminal, which is kind of nice. So it's like right now I can make a pattern for, I don't know, making stuff out of Guardian Essence, or sure, for donuts. And then I can go ahead and do that. But pretty simple, straightforward enough. And the other thing I want to show you guys is this. So the nether quartz cutting knife, I'm just going to throw that on the ground real quick, is going to be something that you guys can make. So if you ever decide to make an AE2, okay, you don't have to be like allergic to it. You can like pick it up and look at it or whatever, or just like look it up in your JEI, I guess. But what is this? This is weird. All right, so your nether quartz cutting knife, what this is really good for is if you take an iron into its open slot and then you give it a name, you can create a name press. Also, thanks, Artie, for making the loudest possible chomping noises as I was explaining this. But what you can do is you can say, hey, go ahead, put this in, and then you can name it whatever you want. Now, we didn't do it in this particular case yet, but I will show how this works real quickly. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and name this interface. Well, actually, so one quick note here. In the case of the interface terminal, if I look at it, you'll notice that the one terminal is called furnace. If you attach an interface to a machine, it will assume that the machine is what you're looking for. Now, if we have 50 furnaces and they don't all act the same way for whatever reason, this is more practical in machines. Like we would have one for, if I look at an inscriber and it's like, this is for logic processing rather than for silicon, then yes, it's going to be very different and I would want to probably name them. So if I wanted to do that, I would go ahead and take this particular thing. So let me go ahead and rip this out because we're just going to use this as an example. We go over to an inscriber. So I'm going to take my Certus quartz cutting knife here. Where is the inscriber at? Where is the inscriber at? Am I crazy? Where wasn't the inscriber here once upon a time?
I already took it.
Oh, where is it?
I don't know. Ask Artie.
Okay. And
It just
then
dropped it for you. Oh,
There you go. I was muted. I was sitting there talking.
Almighty. We'll call this the Almighty Donut Furnace.
There, where you are. It's right. It's
Okay. Oh, I'm on the ground. Why do I keep hearing arrows?
I don't know.
Okay. So we're. Please stop.
okay.
All right.
So basically, it's acting like an anvil. We named
Yes.
this.
So what you're going to do is I would go ahead and take the Almighty Donut Furnace thing here. JK. Apparently you can't do that in Advanced Inscriber. I guess we need a regular inscriber. Weird. We're finding out a lot of things today, and I'm not sure how much of this is normal and how much of this is from Sky Factory 4. So I'm a little bit leery about doing this, but regardless. All right, so let's put a regular inscriber down. All right, so if I put this in here, this is the wrong one, Almighty Donut Furnace, and then I take this ME interface and I put that in there. Provided that it has power, it's going to go ahead and then take this and make it into the Almighty Donut Furnace interface, which sounds absolutely ridiculous, but that's fine. So the Almighty Donut interface, whenever I go ahead and slap that onto here and then replace the cabling to it, it's going to go ahead and now read on the interface terminal and anything else, the Almighty Donut Furnace. So I can go ahead.
So we have nothing, Almighty Donut Furnace, and okay.
Yeah, so I can go ahead and put this pattern in from the interface terminal, and you'll notice that's now reflected in the actual patterns for the interface terminal that's currently on this furnace. So really cool. So this is a good way for us to manage things as we go along. So the reason why we had everyone do this is because there has to be a basic level of understanding of how AE2 works. When we go back to the farm, there's going to be a lot of AE2 automation things that we're going to probably want to do. Specifically, it's going to be pretty important, in my opinion, that we are able to have a good command of this for operations like, hey, I want to be able to have X number of Superium Essence ready to go, which is tied to the farm. So we're going to probably have like some degree of autocrafting, perhaps not necessarily at the site. It might be on site, to be decided, but it's going to be pretty important for everyone to know how to do that. So it's like, hey, so today, let's say that Artie is going to be handling setting up the bonsais, and maybe we'll do quantum rings or something. Then maybe Dearth will be the one to handle like, hey, could you handle crafting of essence up to Supremium? And then for Tex, maybe we'll give him like a hot list of like, hey, these are the things that we really care about from the mystical agriculture stuff that we want to have on hand at all times, so we don't occupy the CPUs. Oof. And then we might look at me and say, hey, let's go ahead and throw together auto-crafting for the basic components for cells. So if, let's say that we always want to have 10 64K drives on hand, we can go ahead and have that happen, and then we don't have to worry about managing those drives. So let's say that we ever want to get, we get a new ME drive and we're like, hey, we need more storage. I just want to take this ME drive, place it down, and then take the 64K cells and just have them ready to go. We should be able to do that. So hopefully that was followable. Hopefully that was not too painful. So thank you very much for your patience, and thank you 3 for being good sports about learning AE2. Hopefully that was informative and useful.
Is that what we were? Is that what's called? We were good. Oh. Okay.
What?
I didn't realize we were good sports. Sorry. It's usually not what I'm called. All right.
Yeah, I'm just called it much worse.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
This is like what happens whenever it's like, wait, what? You're gonna come over here and try to hit me? I'll fight you, man. I'll fight you. But all in all, I think it went pretty well. I think overall, you guys did a pretty good, solid job. So let me go ahead and put these things in here. I'll leave the Cirrus Quartz cutting knife. But I think that's it, unless anyone else has anything to add.
Nope.
Nope.
Don't try this at home, kids.
No, try it at home. Try it at home by all means. It's not that bad.
Only if you have two dads.
You.
Only if you have 2 dads working for you.
Your parents won't recognize you when you age 50 years after coming out of your room.
It's like the Jumanji meme. What year is it? Oh man. But yeah, no, this is a fairly straightforward stuff. Hopefully, I know it was kind of like in a very roundabout way, but hopefully this is my like every mod pack I ever do. It seems like there's at least one episode dedicated to like, I don't remember how AE2 works. So this is how it works. Hooray! And then stuff like that. For those of you who are curious, so we talked about what we did today. Looking forward, we talked a little bit about it. One of the big things that we're going to need to do is the establishment of quantum rings. If you're familiar with what that is, yes, we have to make singularities. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. You don't have to worry about it just yet.
Heard of the quantum realm.
No, the quantum rings are going to be important for it to be like, if we want to bridge the connection between multiple AE2 units, then this is the way that they interact. So, bridging the distance so we can have our new base actually operational, it's going to be very handy. So we can basically just be like, hey, AE2, would you be able to go ahead and link from the farm area over all the way to the new base area, and it should be able to accommodate that. So it should be pretty cool. But
Hey,
yeah,
Donut Brother, did you see that lowly apple eater running around down there?
I know, right?
an apple a day keeps
You
the
never heard of
crossbow
donuts,
away.
apparently.
Anywho, aside from the peanut gallery over there, whoa, what is that? What? What?
It's already.
Thank you all very
right.
much for watching. If
There you
you enjoyed, consider leaving a like rating down below. Subscribe to the subscribe to the channel if you would like to be notified. Hit the notification bell. And yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed this episode brought to you by the Three Musketeers. If you'd like to see more of those kinds of episodes, leave me a comment down below so I can get that feedback and I know to make more of these kinds of episodes with these three guys. But yeah, until next time, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, safe day.
They're after me donuts.
Donald Duck's walking around.
Ciao for now, everyone. Just ciao for now. It was bound to happen. They were focused for so long. This is how they blow off steam. It's just bound to happen. There's no avoiding it. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care. All right. I got some sleep in me. I'm still a hot mess. That's fine. Let's talk about AE2. How can you make your own AE2 system that doesn't rely on you watching and skimming through that entire video? And if you just want kind of like a mini tutorial, then this will be for you, for Autocrafting. Be aware this is for Sky Factory 4. Sky Factory 4, as far as I'm aware, has one difference that is really important, which is we don't have channels. So if you're wondering like, what witchcraft is this? There are no cable management things going on. Choco, are you crazy? That's why. There's no channels at all. It's like you have infinite channels on any kind of cabling, which is crazy. But anywho, onward and if you want an example of it with the cable management and stuff, Stone Block series has that. If you would like a new tutorial, I guess let me know in the comments down below, but I'm not going to cover it in this video. All right, so very first basic stuff. Glass cables is what we're going to be using for our actual connection to everything. So whenever you talk about like your whole way of connecting different components to your AE2 network, of course, we're going to be talking about your glass cables as well as these covered cables in Sky Factory 4. There might be some other cables I'm not aware of, but these are the two main ones I can think of in terms of what you're going to be needing to connect your network all together. Of course, power source into an energy cell. Energy cell is going to go ahead and act as like our battery thing for the rest of our entire system. So power source connecting to an energy cell. It's right next to the ME drive, which is going to go ahead and kind of be our fake network, right? So theoretically, you're plugging this into a bigger network and you've already settled your storage stuff by putting down ME drives and storage things. If you're really crafty and you do storage bus stuff, then go ahead and do all that. It doesn't really impact you there, but just be like, this is basically replacing like our big storage network. The next part here is we have a bunch of different terminals. You don't technically need all of them, but I would recommend all of them. If you're using this on your main storage network, I would imagine you'd have a crafting terminal. You also are going to need a pattern terminal for all this, and we'll explain kind of what this will do in a moment. But first, let me just kind of get through what the different components are and what they do. The interface terminal, well, let me go over the components first. The interface terminal, again, is optional, but I think it's quite handy. If you are going to make a large network, you will probably want this at some point. This is pretty important if you're going to have a really big, sprawling network. You want to manage it a little bit better. The other things you're going to be needing are you're going to be needing storage buses. These will be ways for your AE2 network to look into something and saying like, oh, this is like an extra part of our inventory that we don't really like interact with directly. So pretty useful. Storage buses are going to be required for this. You're also going to want ME interfaces. There's two different kinds. There's this big block kind, and then there's also like this little itty bitty like slap on to like not full block but near cable version of the ME interface. Both work exactly the same way, just spatially they have different things that they're better for using in my opinion. Anyways, I think that there's like that's the main reason. There might be like a deeper reason behind them, but as far as I'm aware, it's like it has to do with like spatial organization. And things like this, like the molecular assemblers. But the other thing you will also need is if you're going to have anything that's processing, right? So anything that goes through a machine, you're going to want yourself an import bus. The reason for this is that you're going to need to take out from the machine whatever you're producing so you can bring it back into your system. You're also going to be needing yourself some molecular assemblers. This is going to be the way that you craft things in freeform. So I call them the crafting station, like a freeform crafting station. Basically what that means is that these things are basically, think of them as like crafting benches, but these are automatic crafting benches. That's one way to think about it. And then you're also going to want yourself, you can have a crafting monitor. This is useful just to make sure that things are happening and working the way that they are. This is optional though. Crafting co-processing units, again, optional, but just be aware that each one of these is going to allow more of the same task to be done on the machine. So like in this particular case, I'm not 100% sure on this. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure. But so whenever you make one CPU, like this giant 3x3, well, it's not giant, but 3x3 of different parts is going to be considered one CPU. And these two purple ones are going to be the co-processing units. This is going to allow you to have a total of 3 operations being able to be done for this CPU. So if I'm saying like, make me a bunch of chests, then basically because I have these two here and then this one entire thing counts as the main CPU, I'm going to be able to use like 3 molecular assemblers, for example, to go ahead and say planks into chests. The storage stuff here, the crafting storage, is also going to be important because this is going to dictate how big your orders can be. Different kinds of crafting orders will require different kinds of data, so to speak, and this is the way that they kind of keep that in check. So if you do 64K storages and you have a whole bunch of them, then you're going to have the ability to craft bigger recipes or make larger orders. So if I want to order like one chest, not a big deal. You can use a very small crafting storage for that. But if you want to make 1 million doors, then you're going to need a lot more crafting storage. Okay, so all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the way that this is going to work in terms of what each functional thing is and how the steps will play out. So number one, whenever you're starting off, you're going to want to make sure you get yourself a pattern terminal. And you're going to want to get yourself a blank pattern. The blank pattern is going to be basically a way for you to say like, hey, this is the crafting recipe that I would like to go ahead and use. You're going to take the blank pattern, put it into this top slot. You can have up to a stack of it in there. Sorry. And then you're going to go ahead, put whatever the crafting pattern is on the left side, and then you're going to hit this little encode pattern button, and that's going to go ahead and make you a special pattern. Now, bear in mind that this is currently in crafting pattern mode. If you like to make it into a processing pattern, just click on this little tab here, and it'll switch the modes. Be aware that when it comes to crafting patterns, because it's assuming that you're just doing like a very basic like crafting process, it doesn't account for the fact that like numbers and quantity is a big deal. So don't really stress about it with crafting. For processing, it will hold you to it. So if I tell this thing that I have half a stack of something going in here and I expect a half a stack out, if it doesn't reach that for whatever reason, it will break. So just be aware of that. So if you had things, this was really a big deal with like sag mills and stuff, when you don't know what your output necessarily will be in terms of the like consistently what it would be. You would have a number, but then you wouldn't know each individual run how much you would get. Always go with the lower number because it's better for your system to think that you've created enough and then you're going like, you can go over a little bit, that's fine. But going under means they'll never finish the process because it's sitting there going, I gave you what I needed. I'm just assuming that you need more time. So again, crafting pattern, processing pattern, crafting workbench thing, machines. Okay, cool. Now, the other part of this all is that you're going to go ahead and you're going to take these patterns, you're going to use them into two different states. But before we get into the way that you craft those, we're going to talk about the CPU because this is going to be what actually sends out the order. Like this is the brain basically. This is going to basically be able to look at an order going in here. So let's say that I'm saying, hey, you know what? I would like to make a thing of charcoal. It's going to say that I have to choose a crafting CPU. Now, when it comes to that, what's actually happening is I'm saying I would like to put in an order. That order is sent to the CPU, and the CPU is saying, okay, I'm a CPU. I have a certain amount of crafting storage that's going to dictate how big of an order I can deal with or how complex of an order I can deal with. And I also have the different kinds of processing units, including the overall CPU, and in addition, these two co-processing, depending upon what you have. And you can make this into like a 3x3, by the way. It's like, as long as it's like cubic or rectangular in shape, then you're A-okay. It doesn't have to be this necessary shape or size. But go ahead and you're going to send that order to the CPU. The CPU is going to go, got it. And it's going to look for the different machines that can make that happen. And then it's going to actually put the order in. So in this particular case, if I were to say like, hey, CPU, I would like charcoal. It's going to say, got it. I need to make charcoal. All right, what can make charcoal? And then it would go over to one of our interfaces to make that happen. So hopefully that makes sense. Processing. This is going to be the part where you're going to have an interface for your input side. And the reasoning why you want it on your input side is because certain machines have, like in the case of the furnace, if I were to put this on the side here, it wouldn't interact the same way. I would think that we're talking about fuel, which is not what we want. Instead, we want it, of course, to feed into the very top slot. So we go into the top part of the furnace. Different machines have requirements like this. So we put the ME interface on the very top, and then we put an import bus on the very bottom or wherever the output is, right? So in the case of charcoal, I would put wood here, and then I would get, the fuel is not accounted for, but I would put the wood here, and that would get charcoal out. And then I would want the charcoal to go travel through the import bus and back into our system. Now, with regards to the way that the interface works, like how you get to actually take, we're going to take that pattern that we made, right? The blank pattern that we then encoded with charcoal. We put that in here, and then this is going to forever remember, this is the way that I made charcoal, right? It will always remember that that's the way that you have to go ahead and do that process. And because of that, whenever I put the charcoal requirement in, I say, hey, make me a charcoal thing. It's going to go ahead, send it through. It has no fuel, so again, it will wait forever, depending upon how you have it set up, but it will wait forever. And then as soon as we get that done, it's saying, I'm still working on it, boss. Goes through, and it finally makes our charcoal. Boom. Goes here. Import bus takes it out. And then the crafting monitor shows nothing because it's actually done with the function. And we have one whopping charcoal. Cool. So pretty simple here. This is really, really handy. The big thing usually is inscribers, because you probably want to make 7 independent inscribers if you want to do the whole automation, because you can basically say like, I don't want to go around like taking my silicon whatever press or whatever and then putting it into a silicon circuit. Like it's too obnoxious. Like you don't want to do that. So pretty good way to automate that whole thing, but you would need multiple systems, but there are no channels, so good. All right, the last part here is going to be about freeform crafting, right? Basic freeform station is going to look something like this: an interface and then some number of molecular assemblers touching the interface, right? So this is one of those reasons why in this case we use like the really thin one. In this case we're going to use the thick bit, but this one is going to be basically touching the molecular assemblers, which means that each of these molecular assemblers could be theoretically used to carry out a crafting operation, like a crafting operation. So again, I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure that the way this works is that you're going to go ahead and put this in. This counts as 3 different operations that can be done, so it can use 3 molecular assemblers, I think. Now, whenever it comes to this, very similarly, you put the order in for a chest in this particular case. This thing is going to acknowledge, okay, I need to make a chest, and then it's going to go ahead and say like, okay, we have the pattern here as well. Can I make that? Sure. And it's going to go ahead and make them in these assemblers. Now you can have it so this thing is buried inside. So if you have your interface and you have, instead of having just these 4 assemblers, if you have 6, so 1 touching this side and 1 touching this side, that's totally fine. As long as it's connected on any point to your AE2 system, it will actually function. So you don't have to have your interface exposed. This is one of the reasons why the interface thing is important, which I'll cover in a moment. But you go ahead, you put the order in, it's going to go ahead and make them the molecular assemblers, and then it's going to go ahead and spit it back out. This you do not need to have an import bus for, as it's part of AE2 system natively. Now, what the guys did was they took this a step further, and then we also added in the ability for us to maintain a certain stock level. I'm pretty sure that this would still work the way we had it before, but we're just going to assume that something goofy happened. So the way that we did it was we went ahead and made a new ME interface. And this is the only job of this interface here is to create a certain level of stock. In order to do this, you're gonna need a crafting card. and then you're going to go ahead and put whatever you'd like on the very top slot in one of these. I think it's 9 slots up here. So in this case, I said, hey, I'd like to make 2 chests. And this down here is actually an inventory. I know it's a little bit confusing, but basically the way that this works is that you actually have an inventory on the bottom here. So this one's saying, hey, I should have 2 at all times. And then this is the inventory saying, yep, we got you covered. You have 2. So this will go ahead and allow you to go and keep whatever you have going on. So if I take 2 chests out, it's going to go, whoa, wait a minute, and it refills my chests. This is useful for things that you need to have on hand, like food, or if you want to have, well, I don't know, if you want to have like fuel of some sort, like maybe have, I don't know, maybe you want like redstone on hand, something simple like that. But yeah, that will go ahead and keep your stock levels where they need to be. The last thing we covered in the video was talking about how we had the inscribers and stuff like that. So basically with the interface terminal, it allows you to look at each of your interfaces without having to physically be there. Now it will not, however, be able to understand things like, hey, I have Autocrafting, what's my inventory there? It only looks at what patterns are inside. So here I can say, if I want to add a new furnace recipe, let's say raw chicken to cooked chicken, I could put that pattern in here and it would put it into the system for me, which is why it's really useful if you have a very large system. If you are doing this and you are saying like, you know what, I'm just kind of like, I don't really care about it, I'm willing to do it all by hand, you don't need this at all. But this is pretty handy to organize everything. If you just like to have everything kind of nicely, like neatly laid out, pretty good. Also, you will notice that these things are named different things. Now, if you attach it to a machine, like this interface, had I not named it, it would just be called a furnace. And that's because it's attached to a furnace and that's how it recognizes the machine. In this particular case, we also renamed it using a Certus quartz cutting knife, I believe. Let me just confirm that I'm not lying about that. Yeah. So the nether quartz cutting knife, this is going to allow you to, if you have one in your inventory, I don't think I have mine on me right now. But if you have this, what you saw during the video, of course, that's terrifying. What did I do with it? I don't know. I don't know what I did with it. But anyways, Certus quartz cutting knife, or another quartz cutting knife, you're going to go ahead and put an iron in there. It's going to create a little plate for you. You take that to a regular inscriber. You can go ahead, slap those together. So I have a name press in here called the Almighty Donut Furnace. If I were to put an ME interface in here, it's going to rename that object. This works with anything. Think of it as like a way to anvil an item that will give the name, and then you can kind of keep using it for whatever. So in this case, we call it the Almighty Donut Furnace, and therefore the Almighty Donut Furnace is what shows up in our interface terminal, which is really useful. So using the example again of inscribers, this would allow us to say like the difference between engineering versus a silicon versus a calculation versus a logic. So that's the idea behind that. But anyways, whew, thank you for watching. And back to the outro, I suppose.